I cannot stop. This is a bit of a problem. Oh my god. Okay, there we go, finally. Hey guys, so a couple days ago I was shown this video by Gunva about a way to get infinite arrows with the Gluttonous Tide bow. Now, this video explained like one way to do it, and by the way, this video has the best pixelation I have ever seen. I have never seen a video with this kind of amount of pixelation. Wow, amazing. So I took it upon myself to experiment a bit more with this because in that video it was shown the galvanic arrow, but you don't need galvanic arrow and you don't need return projectiles, but there are certain criteria that you do need. Now before you start freaking out about how OP this is this is not OP. I have tried to figure out like a viable and practical use for it, and I can pretty much think of no good use except like Val lighting arrow, because like normally you cannot really spam lighting Val skills, but with this you can infinitely keep using Val lighting arrow, which can potentially do a lot of damage, create a lot of arrows. However, you need to stand still, you are locked in place. So okay, I'm gonna talk about how it works first. This is not a build guide video, this is just a mechanic video. This is probably gonna be my final build, and I will do a build guide video separately later. I may even allow myself to use Mage Blood if this works well enough. So far it doesn't seem that great. Okay, so how this works. Essentially, this is with the Gluttonous Tide. The Gluttonous Tide, it's a bit mouthful to say it, but essentially when you get frenzy charges and consume them for the next attack, to add an equal amount of arrows to the frenzy charges, and it adds it to the end of the current attack if the attack has not finished yet. So essentially what you need is your attack to last long and release arrows sequentially, which is basically barrage support, barrage skill, or lighting arrow, because it also releases arrows sequentially. Now the reason for that is that when the first arrow hits, or first the second, before the last arrow hits, before you actually even release the last arrow, you need to cycle this and gain extra arrows. When you gain extra arrows, it adds those extra arrows to the end of the current attack. So like the final arrow like it gets released, and then it continues like releasing other arrows. That's the trick. Now how to achieve that? Galvanic arrow with the barrage support and return projectiles hits 3 times. This bob itself has up to 40% chance to gain frenzy charge for each enemy you hit with critical strike. So it's not 100% chance. So first of all, it's 40% chance even if you have 100% critical strike chance. So one arrow and one hit would not be enough. That's why you kind of need to find a way to either get more arrows or chance to get more arrows, or hit more times per kind of produced arrow, which is essentially what galvanic arrow with the barrage support and return projectile does. It hits with the cone, which counts as a, I guess, projectile, doesn't matter. It hits with the cone, with the arrow, and then with the returning projectile, which is a bit also inconsistent because you also have to wait for the arrows to return. But the galvanic arrow works really well. But you don't need that. All you need is a way to get extra arrows. So essentially you need this modifier. Chance that if you would get a frenzy charge, you instead get up to maximum. You get up to 60% chance to get up to a maximum frenzy charges. This can queue up so many arrows that even if there are no targets, you sometimes end up continuously keep attacking for half a minute, even longer. In practice, like, that's not really good. You want to deal with enemies as quickly as possible, right? You don't want to just stand still. By the way, you also need to tank, because if you get stunned, interrupted, that's it. That cancels it. There's so many things to mention. First of all, you need to release arrows sequentially. Anything that like shoots arrows into the sky, that's not sequentially. Even if you link barrage support, it only adds extra arrows. You need to be able to hit enemies and start cycling this, start looping this process before you release the final arrow. So rain of arrows, blast rain, artillery ballistas, none of those will work. Even the storm rain will not work because it's not as sequential. Even if you add barrage support, it only adds extra arrows to them. It doesn't shoot them sequentially, it shoots them artillery. I can't even say that. And then second, you need to get even more hits per arrow, which is kind of weird thing to say, but like I said, with the galvanic arrow, barrage and return projectiles, you can do that. Get extra arrows with this modifier. And then obviously to face the enemy correctly, to be able to tank it, to not be stunned, to not be frozen. The enemy like cannot avoid your attacks, because that also can mess up. There are some conditions that can completely mess this up. To begin with, sometimes at the beginning it can easily kind of break. The longer it lasts, the less likely it's gonna break. At the beginning is the crucial moment, I guess. But if it doesn't fail at the beginning, it's probably gonna last until the enemy is dead, you are dead, or something else goes wrong. For example, the enemy just runs away to bring more friends. I tried to figure out what else and how would you use this, because the final question is gonna be, when you're using this trick, is this in any way better than just attacking again? Like, why not just attack again? Why stand still, lock yourself in animation? By the way, you are not locked in animation if you use a normal skill with the barrage support. You can cancel animation anytime, but the while lighting arrow, you cannot cancel animation. So you're essentially gonna be locked into a long animation even for a minute, until you run out of all the queued up arrows. Oh no. Oh no, I'm gonna be stuck in here. So that's not good. The timer is going. Okay, okay, there we go, finally. You can use Frostblink still, so there may be some possible smart ways of doing this and like completely clear. Well, you can't really clear the maps completely with this, because if you're not hitting enemies, you're not getting more arrows. Now in practice, why would this be used instead of just attacking again? I found only two things that interact with this in a bit unexpected way. You know, for example, Rain of Arrow unique boots. Those do not work. They only trigger once and that's it. Asana's helmet also did not work. It triggers once when you begin attacking and that's it. Which is why it's kind of weird that Void Fletcher works, but it doesn't really do anything good. Like, it just continues, it does the same as you were to attack again. But like, you are locked into animation, you just keep barraging arrows and it just keeps spamming those charges from the Void Fletcher. But again, it doesn't really do anything special other than this. It still has its own charges, it doesn't bypass the charges, it doesn't like consume more charges, it doesn't generate faster. So it does pretty much the same as just attacking again. Focus Ballista, same thing. For some reason, it keeps continuously attacking as if you just stand and keep attacking. Which is weird that Rain of Arrow boots did not work and Asana's helmet did not work to proc extra spells, which would have been so nice if Asana's helmet worked. So yeah, all the other things that you can think of did not work, like Mana Forged barrage skill, barrage support does not work with the triggered skills, so you cannot use Mana Forge for that. And as far as I know, there's no other sequential. Wait, actually, I'm gonna have to test that. I'm gonna have to test the barrage skill with the Mana Forge. That could actually work. I'm gonna have to test that, and not gonna include it in this video. All the other things like cast and crit, like it works just normally. If you would attack again, it also, if you hit and crit, it also procs. So, but how is that different from just normally attacking? So in the end, I couldn't really find any other practical uses except for Val Lightning Arrow, because Val skills, this one only has up to 2 charges, and after that you have to recharge it again. But with this you can kind of keep spamming it, but however, keep in mind that the projectile are queued up. It does not add more projectiles per second. So technically it's not really, like, it is doing what it probably shouldn't be doing, and it allows you to use Val Lightning Arrow like infinitely, which is stronger than the normal Lightning Arrow. Actually, I kind of take it back, because Val Lightning Arrow has lower attack damage multiplier. However, it also has extra 5 base arrows, so you don't even need to use GMP barrage support, which allows it to have more supports that add damage. And this is what I'm currently doing with this build, essentially building around Val Lightning Arrow for single target. And for Val Lightning Arrow for better single target, I thought that I'm gonna have to get a lot of reduced projectile speed, because then it condenses all the arrows in the smaller area, and all those arrows we can hit only one time per direction change. I think that's how it's worded. Each time we change direction we can hit again. So essentially projectiles change direction 9 times. So we can actually, if we are in a very small area, we can change direction and hit the target again multiple times, up to like 9 times. So technically this should be like really powerful single target skill. However, you need a lot of reduced projectile speed to condense it into a very small area. I am currently running reduced projectile speed from here, less projectile speed, and it's not enough. I don't have any other increased projectile speed. You can also get Craghead. This one is 25% reduced projectile speed. Use slower projectile. Then it becomes like really small AoE, and then it would be nice, but how do you clear with that? Like you can't really, you run faster when your projectiles fly. So for clear speed that just feels bad. This may actually require a separate setup for clear speed, and I may actually do that, just the clear speed. I feel like my current damage is not sufficient with just this setup. I have volatility, added lighting damage right now, lighting penetration, increased critical strike support will be replaced for critical damage, lighting arrow, and then elemental damage for attacks. So I only release 3 projectiles, but also I gain extra arrows. So for clear speed, well, I guess every second hit is only 3 arrows, but it feels fine for clearing. But for single target, that just feels like not quite enough damage. Later on, I'm still only like level 75, just started mapping, so I will get more damage later. But first of all, also need to avoid being stunned. So I'm building avoid being stunned. Gonna get the freeze immunity. There are many things still that need to be improved for this. The charms, I'm gonna be getting critical chance. I believe anything that releases projectile sequentially rolls critical strike on only once. Either all of the projectiles gonna crit or none of them are going to crit. So you don't necessarily need 100% crit chance, because what are the odds that you're gonna use this skill that you only use twice, you're gonna use it and you're not gonna crit? So pretty low. So I don't think that it's necessary to get 100% crit chance, but I think I will try to get very close to 100%. And then the rest, I need to be tanky enough to be able to just face tank enemies, because I cannot move, I cannot change direction in which I'm shooting. So I'm gonna be trying to build tanky enough, but I'm not sure how the damage is gonna look like. So that's pretty much it about this kind of mechanic. I think I mentioned everything. I feel like I'm forgetting something. And yeah, if you got some interesting ideas for this or something else to test, I'm sure there are always people who miss like what I said at the beginning. I'm sure people have a lot of ideas, but ask yourself this: would it be doing anything different than just continuously attacking normally? If the answer is yes, then let me know in the comments below. Maybe there's something else that I'm missing, but practically I don't think that this is gonna be broken in any way. Oh yeah, the previous build that I was doing with the Namahu's Flame, I will not be doing any updated video. I had to quit that build 2 times. One because I was too tired of the game, and second time because I got sick, and then I came back and the build was just kind of all sorts of trouble, and nothing good came out of it, and I won't be continuing that. So there's that as well. So for now, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one, hopefully with this build update in a couple days. Bye bye.